Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm a Scrum Master and Agile Coach. Today I'll give some tips and tricks for retrospectives. Often, or sometimes at least, retrospective might just go into pointing out problems. And that is an anti-pattern that we need to figure out how to deal with, because if we're only pinpointing problems and not focusing on solutions, our retrospectives is not really giving us that much value. Instead, we need to focus on how do we recognize a good solution. How can we see that we actually moved the needle? And some tips for that is what I'm going to go through now. If you like these videos, please subscribe. The first tip that I really like to use is, so we have presented the exercise. It could be a starfish or a learning matrix or whatever, and people have jotted down their comments and thoughts on post-its. Instead of having one person present all his post-its in one go, I like to have people only present 2 post-its at the time. So they take the 2 ones that they think is fitting for now, knowing that when everybody else has presented 2, it's their turn again. And then to alleviate this problem with many post-its and we need to cluster them somehow, I really like the idea of shouting bingo. So if we have a post-it that we've written and we can see that a similar one just got presented, then we just shout bingo. And then we put it on top of the other post-it, maybe just saying 1 or 2 sentences and that's it. In that way we can make sure that we have them clustered easily, but still all opinions are heard. That is one of the tips. Then the other one is, instead, so when we have our starfish or learning matrix, instead of I'm writing my own thoughts, to get the team to huddle together, it can be fun actually to try to write your neighbor's thoughts. So what did my neighbor think of this iteration? What did my neighbor think we should keep doing? What did my neighbor think we should stop doing? And the fun part about this is it's actually quite difficult. And you maybe need to be precise and make sure that people both write for their neighbors, but also spend some time if there is something that they really want to voice on their own. Then when we have written for our neighbor, I present it for, let's say, Peter. And then Peter can afterwards comment if he agrees with what has been put up or if he has something to add. That's a great way to make sure that people don't always focus on their own little world, but try instead to see it from a different perspective. We can also try another exercise, which would be to see it as from the PO's or the stakeholders' viewpoint. So imagine that we had an undercover boss walking in. What would he observe? And that is just some small tips that can really help us having a retrospective where we focus on solutions instead of us just the same old problems. Just quickly to recap, have people present 2 each and then shout bingo if what you have written is being presented, and then try, instead of writing your own post-its, then write your neighbor's post-its. That was it from me this time. If you have comments, feedback, questions, please let me know. That would be awesome. And please subscribe. Have a nice day.